Earlier this year I did a bolt modification to this SKS so that you could use a Tapco magazine and it would drop free with the bolt in the forward position versus having to have the bolt pulled backwards in order for you to get a magazine out. I want to keep going a little further on this particular SKS, and I want to get one of these Wartac style rails installed on it. And I say Wartac style because this one's actually a West rail. It's almost identical to a Wartac. And in order to do that, you have to take the rear sight of the SKS off. And in these SKSs, anybody who has one would know, zoom in a little closer here, that there's a spring in here that holds this down. And you have to overcome the force of the spring in order to get this rear sight out. There's a little groove that goes right where the hole is, and on the inside it follows it down and comes out right here, and there are two little dog ears on either side that need to slide out the groove. And I've seen a lot of videos of guys sticking a screwdriver in this slot, or they stick a screwdriver on top of here and push it down, and you can't do that. And it's really, you can see that, I mean, it takes quite a bit of pressure. You don't need a lot of fancy tools. You don't even need a fancy workbench. I'm doing this on the floor of our new house because I don't have any of my tools unpacked. And of course I have the dog wandering around because he's trying to figure out what I'm doing in the middle of the floor. All you really need is one of your non-marring punches out of your kit. You need a hammer of some type to hit that punch. You need something to hold on to that SKS. It doesn't have to be a big fancy vise. This is just an actual Craftsman woodworking vise. The rest of my tools are in storage, so this is what I have available to me. And a lot of people don't have money for big vices just to use them for a handful of things. So this thing actually works out pretty good. The other thing I need is something to keep that rear sight from flying across the room. So I'll just take this in here, and it's just basically, I don't even really need to put it on there. I just need to keep it so that when it flies off this way that there's something to stop it. So take that punch, and basically, you know, the easiest way is to, there's that space in there, rest it on there, and you can pushing it down and tip it upwards so that when you strike it, it'll be pushing the downward force down, and it's also pushing it out at the same time. You just give it a gentle tap, well, not so gentle, but you know, and you don't want to be slamming on it, but enough that you can get it out. And you might start off with a couple of little taps to see how much force you really need. You just pop it, and it pops right out, just like that. Now, the nice thing about doing it this way is that you know that you can get it out really easy, and it didn't take a lot of force. Whatever reason you're taking this out, whether you're putting in an SKS peep sight, or you're putting in a Wartac rail, or if you're just taking it out because maybe you put sights on the back of it, if you decide that you don't like the setup you had, all you got to do is set it back in here and put it in as far as it'll go in the forward position. And then I just apply just back behind where, let me pull this in a little bit here, see if I can get this to focus in. We'll just do it down here. So you see that there's a cutaway here for where it fits in the slot. So when you rest your finger on here and you push down a little bit, don't put your finger up here because you might get pinched. So you want to have it back here just a little tiny bit. And this doesn't take a lot of force. It's just, you're just enough here to hold it. And then you push down just a little bit. And then you take that mallet and you tap it, and it will pop your sight right back in. It's really that quick, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to be, you know, stressing it out with a bunch of screwdrivers and leaning on it and putting yourself in a dangerous situation, because if a screwdriver slips off of here, you can cut yourself, you can tear up the finish on your gun. But just give it a quick pop and it'll pop right out.